control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeroll-offs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All righty. Happy Tuesday here at Bock in the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are here to talk football, basketball, every kind of sports we can do. It is a gorgeous day here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Tipsy Tina's Taco Tuesday here at The Ticket.
Absolutely delicious tacos. Just had one myself. So yeah, head on down to Tipsy Tina's when you can to get
They got plenty of different really good food. We get the tacos every week. But
Bock, sometimes I feel like I'm rubbing off on people, man. I did something gracious yesterday. I was at Olive Bobby's gyro, however people said.
Not gyros.
Yeah, however you said. But, I was getting me something to eat, and the guy asked me, he said, "Hey, you got any money?" I said, "Nah, I don't have any cash on me," because I rarely keep cash on me, because if I keep cash on me, I put it in slot machines, and I end up calling 1-800 gambling. So,
yeah.
But the guy asked me, Bock, and I said, "Nah, I don't have any money." Then I asked him why. He said he wanted a juice and some fries. So I walked off, and I took 2 steps, Bock, and I turned around. I said, "Hey, follow me." Walked him in there, bought him a whole dinner plate, man. I try to do the right thing, and I think yesterday a light clicked on in me. And then I met a couple of friends I haven't seen in about 2 years, and they twin brothers, and they folks own nursery home out there in Milford, and we was conversating. They said, "Hey," the first thing they said, Bock, was, "Hey, we stopped drinking," and I gave them a hug, because when I hear stuff like that, Bock, it makes me. I know I don't have anything to do with it, and they know I haven't had a drink in 10 years. But to hear that people want to change, and the way they was excited about it, Bock, it was a special place that I know I have reached some people, and probably 4 or 5 people in 10 years that have reached out to me, and I try to, lead them by example that there's a better way than alcohol. But at the same time, it has a lot to do with God in their life, and trying to be right and trying to live healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome that you can feel like you can make that difference, and obviously this microphone kind of gives us a little bit of power and ability to hopefully rub off on some people. Yeah, more football power than anything. But to go out, to hopefully have a good time. And I was just talking to somebody the other day about it, and he's saying, it's sometimes just a getaway to get to listen to Husker football talk or whatever we're talking about, sports talk. And we try to keep it an upbeat show. We have fun. We like to laugh, and so sometimes it could just be a nice getaway from what life's going to throw at you. And if you've been through some downs in life, you usually know they seem to come in waves. It seems like that. It's all that kind of kick you while you're down type of stuff. So usually it's gonna come in, and a lot of people, by the time you get to your mid-30s, you've probably been through something. Almost everybody's kind of have been through some stuff by then, and so life's gonna keep you down. You got to find ways to get back up and to fight those battles. And like you said, if you can be a good example of somebody that's been able to fight through some battles, hopefully it can save somebody else from prolonging that fight themselves.
Well, Bock, I know when we started working on Bock and the Black Shirt, I wanted to incorporate your name first, because it sounds better. But when I say Bock and the Black Shirt, I mean it because we're a team. It's no I and either one of us. So today is your day, Bock, to start the show off, and I call it Bock 101.
Yeah, there we
go. So
Bock,
just being your co-host, and we doing this together, trying to improve our talk radio, trying to prove ourselves to Nebraska fans and show them that, hey, it's more one person or more than one show that can lead this whole company. So with early break, and me, myself, and I was on with Nick earlier this morning.
Yeah, you were. Yeah,
I'm pulling a double.
Yeah,
with a 2-hour break, but
split shift,
a split shifter. Yeah, but I wanted to do something today, man, to let you know that, hey, this is me and you. We're in this together. If we go down, we both go down together. So
right.
Not like that, but Bock,
I
want you to lead the way today. You're going to be my lifeline float today, and I'm going to work off you for a little while today.
Well, let's keep it up your alley, because I did see, and thanks to Caleb Henry at Sports Illustrated, wrote an article to get all of the information from Nebraska's new video game. We've talked about the college football new video game, specifically looking at Nebraska. I know you and I were kind of looking at it earlier. Some of the videos looked pretty smooth. They had the tunnel walk. I don't think they had Sirius playing behind it, so that was a little disappointing, but still looked good. The tunnel walk did. You and I noted before the show, they also have the balloon release, which looked like it was, I don't know, maybe it was just the screenshot that was taken, but it looked like it was from PlayStation 2 or something, but we'll see if that looks good or not. Yeah, I'm not sure. That just did. I don't know if that looked great, but they at least incorporate But most importantly, what we've been waiting for, what I've been waiting for, is to look at Nebraska's roster through this and see what they're rated. Again, the ratings don't necessarily mean this, the same thing as what's going to happen in real life. We see players all the time rise above these rankings. I always go back to Randy Gregory. A couple, I was pretty close to the last edition they had for the previous systems in 2013 or so. Wasn't ranked very high, going into his junior year. You were probably going the same thing, JUCO players. You just kind of throw them in there on the roster and see if they can help out. And then by the end of the year, obviously, going into the next year, he was rated very high. So these ratings aren't the be all end all, but they're just kind of an interesting way to look at and see how Nebraska is perceived player by player, which we can do now with their actual names in the game. Now, also, I did want to look at Nebraska's opponents and see kind of where they ranked. So we talked about Nebraska's offense and defense. The offense is rated above the defense. But Nebraska comes in at an 82 overall. And I think this game's always a little bit more fun with a little bit of a guessing game here. So we'll go through the roster or go through the schedule and see what you kind of think of these teams, who's going to be the biggest opponents for Nebraska to face. So keep in mind, again, Nebraska is rated 82. Where do you think Cincinnati landed in this game?
If we're 82, they're 75.
They're actually an 80.
80.
There's belief.
Not far behind from us.
Yeah, not too far behind. But Nebraska still should win that game according to the rankings, right? So we'll go with 1-0 there. Akron. I won't make you guess Akron. They're 69 overall. Houston Christian is not even in the game. Which should probably tell you something about who Nebraska's playing.
I think a JUCO probably not. They're in the JUCO ranks.
So you give Nebraska the edge of those first three games. Michigan, where do you think Michigan falls here?
Let's say 87.
They are 85.
85.
So they would be favored, at least according to the game, to beat Nebraska. Michigan State, Spartans.
80.
81.
81.
Pretty good guess there. Nebraska at 82 again would be favored to win that one. So still, so far, only Michigan outranks Nebraska. Let's jump to Maryland.
Maryland, 78.
77. You're getting pretty close on these. I like this. Maryland, 77. Nebraska still favored at 82 there. Minnesota.
Oh, man, I don't give them an 82.
Yeah, well, the game did not. They gave them a 78.
What?
So they still have Nebraska favored in that game. Northwestern.
75.
Also a 78.
Okay.
So interesting there. Again, Nebraska only outrated by Michigan so far. USC.
Oh, man, let's say 84.
They are an 82, so they're the same as Nebraska.
Okay.
That's going to be a toss-up game according to the game. UCLA.
80.
78.
78.
Nebraska at 82 outlasts UCLA there. How about Penn State?
Ooh, Penn State. Let's say 90.
88. Good
88?
Guess. Good guess, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't think any team is above 90 this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we did see that. And then the last one, Iowa.
Let's say 80.
Iowa is also an 82, much like USC and Nebraska.
So they try to make it even with teams like that.
A lot of teams, they kind of make even. So ultimately, if you kind of look at it through the rankings, Nebraska should maybe lose to Michigan and Penn State based on team rankings, and they would be even with USC and Iowa. So therefore, you're talking about anywhere between 8-4 and 10-2 for Nebraska. I think we'd all be happy if it lands there. Now, some people might not be so happy at 8-4 if you lose to USC and Iowa, but we'll have to wait and see how it kind of goes down. All right, let's jump into the depth chart of each position for Nebraska. I'm not going to make you guess, as we get along into the depth chart. I'm just going to kind of give me your thoughts on what you think the rankings are, and maybe what you do a little bit different. So we start at quarterback. Dylan Raiola comes in at 87. Pretty good ranking for Dylan there. Marcus Davia, the backup, at 74, and Jalen Gramstad at 73. So big drop off there as far as the depth goes. What do you think about the quarterback ranking?
Go ahead again. Give me 87, Dylan Raiola.
87, Dylan Davia at 74, and Gramstad at 73.
I think that's okay. I mean, if Dylan gets hurt in that game, I mean, you're obviously going to have to take it to a running game if possible. But, I'll probably have to go with Latif, put him in there.
Yeah.
I mean, with his running ability, and I'll try to do a little speed option if I could with him, but mostly I would try to establish a strong running game. Anyway, that's what I wanted. Even with Dylan in there,
Yeah.
in those games like that, to keep a player honest, you have to establish a running game. You cannot pass every down
Can
on.
be air raid.
No, you can't. I mean, because interception ratio is easier in video games than it is in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, you have some glitches. Some player will find glitches in this game to cheat on. It's cheaters in every aspect of gaming, Bock. So, you have to watch out for that part. And I think that, just establishing a run game to keep them honest. And even if you come out, I'm a big believer in pass first, out first play.
Yeah.
Just to see what they give me. But then if I see if I see a gap or a loop or something, I could try to get a running play. I'm a most of a type of a draw guy. I'm a most of a back out the backfield with screens and more like a little lead play, lead traps, lead outside run, lead like that. But I'll get the game back. I'm not a believer. I'm not a fan of sports and PlayStation like I used to be ever since I started. I took this hobby of playing PlayStation because I needed a hobby when I stopped drinking to keep me out of clubs and stuff. So I picked up that hobby of PlayStation again, and I started off on Madden.
Yeah.
But when I got introduced, and then I started off on 2K. I was a big 2K fan forever. I made a slasher up and I got all the way to the next level to the end. To like being the top dog who used to come out the helicopters. I didn't get that far, but I was that next level away.
Okay.
So, and then I got on Call of Duty, and I felt like I could take a lot of pressure out of myself, especially with the mic. But I had to calm down on the mic and make my game a lot better, especially when especially when you banned and you can't talk. You concentrate more on trying to find a way to win. But, college football came back out. I wasn't that great. So that's why I'm not, I think it took me 20-some games to win online. So it made me like, well, it made me real, it made me kind of like, man, maybe I'm not good as I used to be or good as I thought I was. Especially when my son beat me like 3 times in a row, and this kid never played the game before. So I knew I sucked, but I still wanted to I'm still going to give it a chance. I'm just not going to buy the deluxe one. I'm going to wait till the 10th or probably go get it Friday and play it all weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go buy it. I'm going to get it downloaded on my system because I got the download version and the disc version. So I'm going to get it downloaded and wipe the other one off.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get rid of the other.
Yeah. I'm not going to get rid of it. So I just
uninstall it.
Uninstall it. It'll still be in my library. But, I'm just going to wait till Saturday to get it. Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. And like you said the other day, the fun part of this game is all the little intricacies they put for each of these teams. Like I said, there's the tunnel walk. There's the balloon release, all that sort of stuff for Nebraska. And they've got that individually set up for each school. So it's fun.
But it does look different, Bock, from what you've seen on the computer. I mean, once you get it on a big screen TV, something like a 50-inch, and you really get to sit back and watch the graphics, it'll amaze you. We sit here and look at it on a computer screen, and it doesn't look right. But I'm telling you, it'll look better once you see it live.
I'm still skeptical of that balloon release. We'll see how that goes. Let's jump to the running back rankings here. Kind of interesting. Emmett Johnson at 87. We already mentioned Dylan at 87. Quentin Ives, 79. Jamarian Parker coming in at 77. Mekhi Nelson off his redshirt year at 72. And Booth comes in at 75. Connor Booth.
Well, that's real life action, what they believing in right here, because after we get through with Emmett, there's a big question mark. And it makes me wonder if we should, it's we still have that little window with a portal coming up. I don't know when did it start?
I'm not sure. I think that's for like grad transfers or this is for the roster cuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the roster cuts. But I did see something interesting today on TikTok. I mean, not on TikTok, but X. And I want to ask you this question later on, but we're gonna finish this. But I think once Emmett once Emmett comes out the game, we have to find a true backup for him. I know Quinn Nyes leads the way. Big kid. Would love to see him strive in this offense. Would love to see him get more carries because of the bigger back situation it is. Would love to see him be a good third down back. We'd like to see him short yardage back, somebody that can really move the ball, not really a dancer or a stepper like Emmett, just a straight up downhill runner. And I think once he find his way and heard good things about this Jamarian Parker kid, maybe he could be that third down back if Emmett needs to come out. Maybe if that little scat back that we need, him and Quinn Nyes can make it a 1-2-3 punch for us.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see
I want to emphasize that I would love to see Emmett get 20 carries a game.
Yeah, or touches at least.
Yeah.
He has a lot of his.
I would love to see
Emmett.
I think Emmett Johnson deserves to get 1,000 yards if he could. I mean, if it's allowable, I think he will get 1,000 yards if it's allowed. But the way Hogan's offense is set up, probably 15 touches a game.
Yeah, we'll see. Like you said, if he stays healthy, I think the 1,000 yards rushing would be nice. But at least if you're kind of in that 1,213 yards total, that would be a great season for Emmett Johnson and great for Nebraska's offense. Let's jump over to the tight ends where Luke Lindenmeyer comes in at 79 overall. Heinrich Harburg at 78. Mac Markway is at 77 and Carter Nelson at 75. So they're all kind of grouped in together there.
Yeah. Tight ends are not really my thing in video games, but I do like to run the tight end drag across the middle. I mean, up the seam though.
Yeah.
So, if Dylan can find a way, actually in real life, Dylan needs to throw more to these tight ends, especially a guy like Heinrich who's really coming into his game. Still don't know the status of what's the kid name? Carter Nelson yet, but hopefully he's got big. Markway, we didn't see him yet, but heard great things out of him out of LSU. Maybe this could be a good group of tight ends. I'm not saying the best in the Big Ten, but long as they're in the middle pack of the Big Ten, I think we'll be successful on the field with this group.
Yeah, Heinrich Harburg, obviously, like you were saying, is kind of a wild card here. If he can come around to being a really good tight end for Nebraska with that athleticism, could be game changing for that offense. Jumping over to wide receiver, these rankings are kind of interesting. I only was able to find about 5 of these guys. I think there's another guy in there that I didn't even recognize. There's usually a guy on each team that's just not even real. But Dankey at 88, Nazea Hunter at 84. They've got Ja'Cory Bonner at 83. Ja'Cory Barney at junior at 83. And then Bonner at 76, and Demetrius Bell coming off that injury at 72.
Wow, they did Bonner like that? 70 what?
76.
Oh man, that's like a C plus. I can agree with most of that. Great group of receivers. Anything on the what is his name? Jeremiah Jones?
I didn't see any of the freshmen.
Okay.
So still, I mean, they might be on there. I just didn't see them. As we move toward the offensive line, kind of interesting here. Gunnar Gatula at 78. Teddy Prohaska at 78. Turner Corcoran at 75. They have Lutovsky, who will be going to Big Ten Media Days in real life. I don't think they have that in the video game. At 81. Justin Evans at 81. Rocco Spindler at 83. And Pritchett at 84. Also Grant Bricks at 74.
Okay. I can live with that. That's average O-line stuff. Can't wait till the season starts to see this new rebuilt line that we have, especially with Rocco and Pritchett or Henry Lutovsky. What he's moving to center.
I think he's going to be guard. I think Evans is going
to Justin Evans is going to move to center.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to see what Coach Riola has done and reestablished this group to probably, hopefully they're the best group on the field.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, kind of 80s across the board here, but I was really interested in what they would do with Pritchett. They've got him at 84. Some see him as maybe a first-round draft pick in the next year's draft. So obviously he would have to do better than that. But there's a lot of question marks around him too. And Spindler, obviously interesting as well, coming in at 83, the second highest rated offensive lineman. So good job by Nebraska out of the portal to grab those guys. We go to the opposite side of the ball. Of course, we know games are won in the trenches. For us, you look at Nebraska in this video game, Elijah Judy coming in at 80 overall. Van Poppel comes in at 79. Keona Davis at 81. Williams Winery at 81. Cam Linhart at 77. And then Jalen George, 74, and Gabe Moore, 70.
Kind of mediocre ratings right there. Hope it doesn't affect their gameplay in real life. You know,
a
that
little bit better than that.
still have a little question mark on them, and just to see how the rotation goes and who's the starter are. I can live with that on a video game. I'm more of a blitzer in the video game, so you know I'm that type where I bring my linebackers a lot. So long as I can get somebody who can get open and get sacks and try to make a great play, then I'm okay with that.
I'll read off some of the linebackers for you. As you know, Dawson McCullough might be a good blitzing option. He comes in at 82. Willis McGahee, they've got it 71. Willis McGahee, the fourth. Javen Wright, excuse me, at 80. Marquise Watson Trent getting the highest grade of all the linebackers at 87. Vincent Shavers at 77. And they do have the freshman here in Dawson Merritt at 75 and Christian Jones at 73.
Oh, man, they did my boy Shavers wrong, man. I kind of feel bad about that. I at least thought he would be at least an 84, 82. Guy had a hell of a bowl game. It's going to be kind of weird to see how the rotation goes with that, with all the linebackers. Probably going to have to run a 3-4 for a little while just to get comfortable with it because I want to use more of my linebackers, the 4 linebackers. So I'm going to do I'm going to have to switch the playbook probably on the defense and go with a 3-4 look.
Yeah, hey, there you go. You're not going to run the 3-3-5.
No. I probably will go multiple defenses with it, but I'll try it out. But mostly I'm a zone blitz type of guy, mostly on, third and 7, I'll probably try to drop 6-7 guys and try to bring a blitzer on the outside and just try to keep them inside the pocket.
Fair enough. We'll see if it works with this group. Let's get the defensive backs and include the safeties in here as well. Sierra Wright listed at 88 overall. Marquise Buford gets 84 grade. Deshaun Singleton, 83. Malcolm Hartzog, a 79. Mario Buford coming in at 77. Bly Hill at 75. And Amari Sanders at 74.
Well, Bock playing against, I seen the stats of Jeremiah Smith, and he's a 98 overall. And with that, his speed is going to be probably 92, 93, 94. So you have to watch out and put a safety over top and try to give these guys some help. But overall, it's pretty good. Probably see how their coverage rankings are and their speed overall, and probably try to work off that.
Yes, you're right, especially coming in at 88. Might just be tough to get somebody on the opposite side. As we all know, there's a question mark on the opposite side for Nebraska. Who's going to fill that in? We'll wait and see. Quickly for the kickers and punters are interesting. No Archie Wilson in the game, it doesn't appear, so no rugby-style punting for you. But at kicker, they do have Kyle Kunin, the Charlotte transfer, at 75. They have Tristan Alvano at 73, and they did John Hole dirty. They have him all the way down at 66.
And John Hole is probably the starting kicker.
He might be the starting kicker.
Yeah, how you going to give a guy like that who kicked 50 yarders last year and made them? I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, it was a rough spot there.
Yeah, I got to email EA on that one now.
Yeah.
Did they bring back the mascots, anything, Bock? Did they say anything about the mascot
I don't
match?
know if you can play mascots
in
that. But hopefully we all enjoy playing the game if we get to it, or at least if you don't even play video games, you enjoy kind of the ranking aspect of it as we went through there. I was been waiting all year to kind of see where Nebraska's players would be ranked, and now we know.
All right, this is Bock in the Blackshirt right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Keep listening, man. We got some good stuff coming up. We'll be right back.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmicerolloff.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Off. Cleanup made simple.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt. Special congratulations to Rico, man. They had their third baby today, man, a little boy, wow. Man, and I just seen it online, and I just want to say congratulations to you, Rico. Bock, I got one question. I told anybody to ask us anything on YouTube. Robert Smith said, how many games must Nebraska win this season to be considered a successful season? 8.
8 games.
8. More than last
including
year.
The bowl game.
More than last year. Well, if you want to claim the bowl game, 9.
Oh, you want a 9-win total?
Yeah, 9-win total, 8 regular season to get us there, 10 to get us to the playoffs, 11 we'll probably host the game.
Yeah, there's obviously varying degrees of success, but you obviously, like you said, you want to take a step forward. I think if you include the bowl game and they got 8, that'd be good. Bowl games are so hard to really tell. I mean, these days, what it's even going to look like by the time you get there. But at least the step forward, I think, would be success. But again, it's varying degrees of success. To your point, I think if you get the 9 bowl game included or not, it'd be hard to argue that wouldn't be a huge success for Nebraska. Remember, they haven't got to 9 since 2016.
All right, Bock. Quick note right here. Dylan Raiola is ranked among the top quarterbacks according to USA Today Sports quarterback ranking. He came in at number 17, Bock, and I'm probably happy about that because he hasn't been getting no love all season. Last year, as his freshman year, he completed 67% of his passes last season, going 275 out of 410 while passing for 2,800 yards, 13 touchdowns. Raiola led all freshmen and ranked 14th national in completed percentages in 2024. He also ranked 3rd among freshmen in passing yards and was a semifinalist for Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year. Raiola ranks 4th among the 7 Big Ten quarterbacks in the USA Today ranking. Drew Aller earned the highest ranking for the Big Ten at placing at number 2. Who else? Luke Altmaier and Nico
Iamaleava.
Yeah, I'm just going to give up on that one.
Yeah.
Earned 13th and 16th spot, respectively. Other Big Ten schools to make the top 25. Oregon, Dante Moore, 19th. Indiana, Fernando Mendez, 20th. And Ohio State, Julius Saying is 24. What do you think about that, Bob?
It's interesting because there's just a huge group of folks that's in that potential category. And I think Dylan Raiola is in there. Like you said, Julian Sanders, some of these other names Dante Moore that could rise up. But as far as established folks, it's obvious that Penn State's Drew Aller is leading the way there. But I'm interesting. Altmaier had such a good year last year, and I don't know if he gets as much credit as maybe he deserves. Trying to just engineer that offense down the field as much as he did. He might not be the flashy, he might not have the biggest arm of the group in the Big Ten, but he's definitely one that I think a lot of teams would go to battle for and battle with if you were able to land him. But as far as Dillon goes, I think it's a good spot to be in. I think it's one of those, again, who are you necessarily buying their upside this year? There's guys all around the Big Ten. Washington's got a guy. I mean, there's a lot of young talent that looks to take that next step. And generally, we see a few of them do and a few of them don't. Let's hope Nebraska's in the few of them that do. And there's plenty of reasons to believe they are. Like we said, the whole excitement of this offseason and for them to take a step forward is the Dana Holgorsen, is the Dane Key, is the return of Emmett Johnson. Elijah Pritchett's help solidifying the front. So there's a lot of moves that's made this offseason to help Dylan Ariola take that step forward.
All right, when we talk about this new look offense, Bock, what if you had to give them any kind of thing before the season started? What is a great point per average game that Nebraska must have, and how many rushing yards a game do you think we need to have to be successful?
Well, if we look at kind of last year's numbers, obviously, I think you want to get better than last year's. You had to rely on the defense a little bit more than maybe you even can this year. But if you're looking at the offense last year, they scored 23.5 points per game. That's not a whole lot more than they did 2 years ago. In fact, it ranked 103rd nationally. So it wasn't a great year. Rushing wise, they only ran for about 130 yards per game. That was 96th nationally. So they need to take some significant steps forward. I think if you want to, again, with Holgorsen, it's interesting to kind of see how this breaks down. He said he's not going to be, he's far from the air raid offense that he was at one time. And so, and that they were going to keep a lot of the offense that they kind of had already installed, and he was just kind of adjust to it. Now, is that telling people to keep, looking at the old tape and they're going to add some new stuff to it? We'll have to wait and see. And obviously the new weapons can help as well. It's impossible to say that this doesn't completely change based on Emmett Johnson's health. I mean, what can you expect? 150 rushing yards out of Nebraska with a healthy Emmett Johnson? Maybe. Can you without a healthy Emmett Johnson? I think you'd be hard pressed to get to 110 yards per game. So somewhere in there, I think they've got to have the goal for about 150 yards per game, and they got to move that scoring up significantly. You'd like to be around
by
30,
10,
35.
32,
Yeah,
32, 35.
I wouldn't mind the 30 to 32 type of category.
I think I think with the way this defense is set up, you have to give them room to grow. I mean, this is not going to be a overnight thing with them shutting people down. They it's a lot of new starters, especially new names on this defense. And I mean, plus you're bringing in a new defensive coordinator. Can he learn from some stuff from Tony White? Sure, he probably looked at game film, trying to fill the gaps that was left from when Tony White left. Now, offensive wise, you're probably not going to get any better at rushing. Like you said, 150, probably maintaining in that area, 140. I don't see us being a 200-yard rushing team a game.
No.
Not the way this offense is set up, and especially with all the weapons you have at receiver. Now, points per game, you got to average 30 or above. And I think probably 32, 33 for us probably would help. Now, when you talk about the receivers, they're going to play a big role in this offense, especially with the new coach. They're going to be coached better. Not saying that they were last year, but I'm saying it. So,
yeah, go ahead,
but yeah, I think running backs have to play a very crucial role. We have to maintain. I mean, we're probably not going to have that stat at rushing that we like, but we can maintain from where we was last year.
For the longest time, it was at Nebraska, especially. Obviously, kind of after the option days, it was still try to get to 200-yard rushing. You generally win college football games if you get to 200 yards rushing. But like you're saying, I just don't know if that's the identity of this team. It doesn't appear to be the way that they're kind of building the offense. And now maybe we could be surprised. Maybe they do turn into more of a ground and pound type of team, but I just don't see it. So again, that's why I say I think you start the goal. Obviously, you'd love to get to 170, 180, but I think you kind of realistically think if they can get 20, rushing yards more per game this year than last year, get to that 150 mark, that would be pretty good. And then as far as scoring, how much will a competent special teams help? Not just, obviously the field goal kicking can definitely add points that to that mark. But punting, just everything that kind of went wrong in special teams last year. And punting wasn't necessarily one of them, so I shouldn't say that that one too much. But the snaps were a big issue, obviously. That can make a big difference. And then Nebraska's kind of struggled in the red zone the last couple of years, specifically last year as well. I saw a stat that said Nebraska has not had double-digit touchdown passes inside the red zone since 2017. And some of the better teams across the country usually get about 15 of those per season. So Dylan Riley, I think, had 9 last year. So it's close to that double-digit mark. But you want to see them punch in their red zone opportunities, which was a problem last year. And then again, if it gets to the point of holding your breath on field goals, hopefully that's the thing of the past. Mike Eckler coming in, changing things on special teams. You got some help at specifically highlighting a long snapper and being able to do that. They could have went, like I said, they averaged 23.5 points per game. If they were consistently snapping the field goal and hitting some of those field goals, could have been closer to 25, 26 points per game.
Let's stay right here on special teams, Bock. Now, who would you go with to open the season with? I mean, for me, there's no kicking competition to be worried about this summer. I think John Hall has solidified that last year, especially during the kicks against Ohio State. Christian Devano has to earn his way back into grace with this team. I think only thing we have to worry about, we do have the rugby style kicker. Special teams, I feel okay, but I want more returns this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, I would have thought the same thing. I thought John Hall proved himself enough that I felt pretty comfortable with him by season's end. So I think he was like 10 of 15, but several of his misses were, again, due to the long snapping issues. So I felt pretty good with him. But when you bring in a transfer from Charlotte, like they did in Kyle Coonan, that tells you a different story, at least as far as the competition. And maybe that's just competition. Maybe they do still feel good with Hole, but then, that would kind of reflect further back on where do they see Tristan Alvano. Alvano's just an interesting story. I mean, obviously we all kind of know it. High school star for Nebraska, hit game winner his senior year for his high school in Memorial Stadium. And he's got the leg. I mean, he hit a long one last year too. But it was, I remember that was 2 years ago at this point in time, because he missed most of last year. You just wonder where he is in his head and if he's ever going to be able to kind of get back to the consistency he was coming out of high school. These guys, again, with Hole and Alvano, we know they have the leg. It's not a leg strength thing. It's about consistency. And who knows if they were having snapping problems. When I talk about consistency in games, they were telling you it wasn't happening at practice. But if it was happening a little bit more, that can hurt their confidence, what they're thinking about going up for a kick as well.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I tell people this every time. Like when I went against our field goal team at Nebraska at practice, I tried to block every kick. Even though if I couldn't get it blocked, I was diving left and right. Probably got stomach rash from sliding on the turf. But that's the way I tried to perfect my skill is trying to block kicks at practice.
Did you get a few at practice?
Yeah, I got a few at practice. Yeah. I mean, I blocked punters. I mean, that was my goal. That was my only skill that I probably crafted myself and made it better. Because, like I said, my brother started it in high school and I finished it, and that's one of the things I took pride in was field goal blocks. And I was kind of mad when Eric Warfield got thrown in the mix. Hey, I don't want to share my blocking duties with anybody, but Warfield ended up blocking one, and the ball rolled right in. It was rolling into Jay Foreman's hand, but I played snatch and grab from Jay, and I snatched it and ran in the end zone. But it's always good to have two guys that can really block kicks, and I think that with having Warfield on the other side with me, it scared both teams. But at the same time, I think blocking kicks is always a key to winning games.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I don't even think about that when I think about special teams. I think about getting better from where they were. It's not necessarily about being disruptive, but can go, because we always ask, can they go from horrible to average? It'd be a huge step for this team. But if they can go even a step beyond that and cause havoc, play some beamer ball, and the special teams emphasis that they had there at Virginia Tech, get some blocks, and that could definitely swing a game or two.
All right, when we come back here on Bock and the Black Shirt, we're going to talk about freshmen. Who the red shirt and who you think can play right here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Boom! Still adding the character stuff. All right, welcome back to Bock in the Blackshirt. Here, we're trying to be your favorite show here at 93.7 The Ticket. Bock, let's get into some freshmen when we talk about this class that's coming in, and we'll discuss by our analogy to see who plays and who gets redshirted. All right, Dawson Merritt, great player from Blue Valley, still from Kansas. Heard a lot about this kid, man. 4-star. Ranked 103 in the nation, enrolled early. He was hurt, I think, coming through spring practice. Has a lot to learn. Should he play?
We will see. I mean, like you said, there's such a mix-up at linebacker. It's tough to see who's going to get, all the opportunity there. Between Marquise Watson, Trent, some of the guys they have. We'll see if some of the new additions can help out. Compete. We still got Buddha back there, so. We'll see. I think that he probably, it's kind of fun too with this time of the era. I shouldn't say this time of the year, but just in general, this timing of college football, this era, is that you can obviously play 4 games with, and then
give him a shot.
Your red shirt. So I think he's at least going to get a shot. Yeah.
Cortez Mills, this kid right here, heard a lot about him. 6 foot, 165, probably needed a weight. Homestead, Florida. 4-star, 210th ranked, 24 enrolled early. Didn't play in the spring game with the backup player, so that's telling me something, Bock. I think this kid could be a great returner, backup to the slot position to Ja'Cory Barney Jr. Let's give him a shot.
Yeah, I think so too. Like you said, there's
really gonna be hard with trying to figure out a second rotation of receivers, though.
That's right. That's right. It's kind of similar thing as a linebacker. It's good that some of your top end freshmen are coming in at those type of positions, but right now there's just kind of a logjam at those positions too.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that they can't play. There's just a few spots there, so these guys got to fight for those spots. Going back to linebacker too, Jacob Bauer is a name that was been added to a walk-on that earned a scholarship. So he's going to be expected to play there. At wide receiver, it's going to be the same thing. I think we know some of your top 3 that you're going to have, obviously, in Dane Keene, Isaiah Hunter, and Corey Barney. Demetrius Bell returning off injury. I expect him to get some snaps. We talked about Bonner is going to get some opportunities. So how many are they going to rotate in? And, of that group, I know you're going to name a few more in that wide receiver room. Is Cortez Mills one of them that's going to get up there? He's been known as a great 50-50 ball wide receiver. And that's something Nebraska definitely used.
All right, Christian Jones, West Side Omaha right here. We got an Omaha kid in here, 4-star, number 1 in the state recruit last year, 6'2", 215 linebacker in a clog jam linebacker room again with a lot of experience. Buddha, Javen Wright back, Trenton Watson. You got Shavers. You have Bauer. Then you got on the other side, you have Willis McGahee and McCullum. So, man, this might be a redshirt opportunity for this kid to get bigger. And then you have 2 starters who's going to leave the middle with Trenton Watson and Javen Wright leaving. So we might want to save this kid, or if he could do good on special teams, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, again, was the Butkus Award winner at the high school level. So linebacker of the year across the country. Should tell you something about the level of talent that they've got coming in there at that position. Does it translate? And then how quickly do these guys' bodies translate to the college level? As we've seen with Ernest Hausman a couple of years ago, they were kind of trying to slowly get him integrated, and you would argue and have argued for the last couple of years that they should have just played him right away and let him get integrated and get more playing time. Trial by fire type of thing. I don't think Merritt or Jones are going to get trial by fire as much because of the depth that's there. But for them as well is if we're going to take special teams seriously, you're going to need some big time athletes there, and sometimes you can put your young big athletes, in those positions to play some good special teams ball. So both of them could see some opportunities there as well.
All right, Isaiah Mose. Daddy's on the roster. Not a transfer, but he decommitted from Oregon. Came here. Kid has heard some good things about him. 6'1", plenty of guys with height, Bock. 185 out of St. Louis, Missouri. He's in the same boat as Cortez Mills, trying to fit in the room that's already heavily manned up. Can he crack it? Possibility he can. We don't know. I wouldn't waste my red shirt just to catch probably 6-7 balls in a year.
Yeah, and I think that's a good landing point too. Is you want to at least make it worth it. And people would argue, was Carter Nelson worth his red shirt? I think he had 10 catches, maybe a carry or two. Was that worth burning a red shirt on him? I always go back to Nas Paul, because Nas Paul had, I think, 1 catch for 6 yards. His red shirt year would have been nice to have an extra year out of him. So that's a good point. Again, with the 4 games that you can kind of play with, gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to dance around that problem a little bit more. So we'll see. I mean, I think you've probably gotten better opportunity, and maybe I could be wrong. It's just kind of trying to read the room as we see it now. But Isaiah Mosey, I think, is going to have that opportunity. But I think I would lean toward Cortez Mills still, if out of the 2 getting the opportunity.
All right, TJ Lateef. The only reason I see this kid playing, man, if one of the backups goes down, then he hops in that role. Still like to preserve his red shirt. Great scrambler, still has a lot to learn on the college level. But right now, I'm leaning towards the red shirt. You get 4 games to play. Now, would you play all these guys for 4 games?
I wouldn't play all of them. It depends on those games. That Houston Christian game seems like one that, that type of situation. You want to get a lot of playing time for those type of guys. But a lot of these games that have come down to Nebraska just hasn't blown out a whole lot of people over the years, I suppose is the way to put it. And so
correct.
You haven't been able to get that developmental side. And maybe that was a big part of Nebraska building what they did back in the day is, I know you complain about it, but getting those reps for guys in the second half to kind of build that depth for years down the line. Be nice to get back to that. I don't know if we'll see it. And specifically Lateef, I don't know if I saw anything from the Husker games and a very limited sample size.
Running for his life.
Right. That is anything more than what Marcus Davia can give you, or Jalen Gramstad. So they've got to find out who's the second. If Lateef is legitimately their second best, and there's not a whole, and there's somewhat of a gap there, then absolutely prepare them to play. You got to play to win the games now, especially with quarterbacks. You can't worry about transferring or thinking about 4 years from now. You got to win now.
All right, Bock, that'll do it for our first hour. When we come back, we will continue this freshman trend, see who red shirts, who plays, who sits on the sideline with your sweatsuits on. Right here, 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the Black Shirt.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers and storms this morning. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high near 87. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high near 91. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right, welcome back to Bock in the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. This is your new 1 o'clock hour show, and we come to rock the house and let us know how we're doing. We just two guys that like to talk on the mic right here.
Oh, don't let him say that. He's also one of the all-time great linebackers at Nebraska. In fact, even though it is you're on the show every day, we could do Terrell Farley Tuesdays, play some highlights, ask you about some plays maybe once in a while.
Oh, Bock, I don't want to put all the pressure on myself, Bock. I like to share the limelight with you, Bock.
Okay, all right.
All right, Byron the Hog Farmer says Mosey moved to running back. He likely will play. That's great if he moved to running back. I mean, like I said, Emmett Johnson is a stable group back there that he can lead and show guys how to do it. And I think Mosey is actually a great candidate to be a number 2 or 3 running back, learn the system. Like I say, you still have Jamarion Parker, who probably still needs the red shirt, but long as, there's a such thing as a 1-2 punch in college football. And we seen that at Penn State last year. We seen it at Notre Dame last year with a lot of teams having Ohio State with a 2-headed monster running back crew.
I've definitely seen the Isaiah Mosey to running back type of idea there. He is still listed as a wide receiver on the roster. So just for what that's worth, I suppose. But is it a good thing? Does that speak largely on what you've got at running back there? Or, hopefully it's not if the move does indeed happen when they get into camp, hopefully it's not because they need a running back. Hopefully it's because Mosey just flashes so well there that they want to get him some snaps, get him some playing time, because that could be one of two directions. Where you're moving guys around to try to find some depth for that running back room. That could be trouble.
Yeah, I think that'll be great if he's that third down back that we need out the backfield. More like what was the guy 2 years ago? Who was the MVP of the bowl game last year? Ramir Johnson. He needs to be that Ramir Johnson type who could really catch that thing out of the backfield and take it to the house, Bob.
Hey, I can't argue with that. They would be nice to replace and have that sort of receiver. Again, Emmett Johnson could fill that role. He's just going to need some help. He's a do-it-all back. He can fill just about every role.
Well,
there.
You don't want to burn him out.
Right.
I mean, especially when we get in the thick of the Big Ten schedule, when he start taking a pounding and really get hit. Because Emmett is elusive back. He got good moves, but once that contact hit box, it probably takes a little toll if it's going to be like that every game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be a key to this offseason. As I know we're going to get with the freshmen going again, but again is to get some of those weapons in the first couple games. Nebraska's going to have an opportunity to develop some of those running backs. Maybe keep the hit count low as you can on Emmett Johnson. And kind of do a battle between that and warming him up right before you get to the Michigan game. And obviously Cincinnati throw all this stuff out. You got to win that game before anything else. Before you're kind of counting carries. But hopefully once you get to Akron, Houston Christian. Those are games that hopefully we can develop some depth, specifically at running back. And I would keep the carries and hits low on Emmett Johnson as you develop those running backs, because as we've just said, if you don't get anything else or an established back out of the running back position, it's going to be a long year. Holding your breath for Emmett Johnson to stay healthy.
All right, Latex from MySpace says 2 years sober today. Great to hear your stories. Keep on doing what you do. You make a difference. Congratulations there, Latex from MySpace. And then he also says, I see back-to-back screens this year. I will stop watching. Well, if they're working, that's the thing I'm saying. It's different type of screens we can run. I really like to see, I'm really a screen guy in the college football
the
video games. But if they could commit to trying to sack Dylan Real and he can slang it out there and we have some lead blockers, then it makes sense. But if we're just doing it for 1 or 2 yards, then it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and you need a lot of things to be working there. Obviously, the screenplay is done well to kind of throw the defense off. But that's the excitement of this team, is if some of these guys can get going. As we're saying, if you can add some weapons out of the backfield at running back, then you're not so keyed in on Emmett when he's in the ball game. If Heinrich Harburg can develop to be a downfield threat, you can kind of run some gimmick plays with him as well. If Dean Key and Isaiah Hunter and Decory Barney pretty much just stay as well as they were last year and hopefully improve, right? But even just that, there's more weapons in the long, downfield, the intermediate routes underneath, and Nebraska can become very difficult to defend. On the opposite side, if Emmett gets hurt, the Heinrich Harburg experiment doesn't quite work out as much as you want. Maybe Elijah Pritchett, is a little bit more, doesn't live up to the expectation, all that sort of stuff. And Nebraska could easily find themselves right back to where they were last year, where it was tough for Nebraska to sustainably drive downfield. Or have a whole lot, and especially have a whole lot of big play threats. Emmett Johnson was pretty close to the only one.
All right. This is from 7826. This is a funny one, Bock. I simulated a year in the dynasty, and after this upcoming year, Nebraska fired Rule after going 8-4.
It's hard to imagine that scenario playing out, but I don't know. Maybe in that dynasty there must have been some off-field problems or something, because that's definitely not going to get him fired this year.
All right, it's the SEC all in the 90s. We didn't check them out yet, but most of them probably are. You got to watch it. We got to go check it out when I get it.
Yeah, does ESPN get help in creating the game? That might help boost them up there.
Yeah. This is Gus Mohawk. I always love JUCO players and their stories. Big fan of Farley's, David, and Gregory. Also a big fan of former Hutchinson JUCO transfer Deshaun Singleton. I think he's going to have a hell of a year. Farley, have you ever had a chance to talk to the young men about being a JUCO Husker? Man, really a lot of internet tells the story of it was a big story when I first hit the scene in Nebraska, especially starting. So, and then probably watching Last Chance U and watching my school play and learning that they won a national championship. We was far from that. You know, we was the first team to beat Coffeyville in a long time, first team to make it to the playoffs. So we had to start from scratch somewhere, but we did make it eventually.
Yeah, it's interesting. And you were the only JUCO recruit of your
Yeah,
right?
I was the only JUCO recruit.
Nebraska's obviously had a lot of success with the JUCO route over the years, specifically the Pelini years. And they are fun stories. I can agree with that because it's just a different route to take. It's a little bit of a path less taken, right? A little harder path to make your way up. But so many players from the JUCO route have made a big impact on Nebraska. Hopefully, we've got a few more waiting in the wings.
All right. Riley W. I'll appreciate you guys more than you know. We need a therapist when you have Bock in the black shirt.
So who needs a therapist?
Yeah, who needs a therapist?
I don't know if we quite count therapy, but we can be. At least our keep it happy.
We're low key. We don't yell. So, that's one thing about me and Bock. Me and Bock, we have a special bond when it comes to sports because I think we like the same thing. We always like to hustle to win. We're very competitive when we pick these games on our pick 'em Friday. Hopefully we can still have that going on. We don't know the situation of how we're going to run things in the fall, so we'll stay tuned for that. But for the meanwhile, just stay tuned for Blackshirt and Bock and the Blackshirt.
Absolutely, it's a good show. It's a good time doing it with you.
All right, 5704 said, "What do you think Carter Nelson? When do you think Carter Nelson will have an impact?" The tight end room is very congested room right now. I mean, if I was Carter Nelson and double hip surgery, I would probably take that red shirt this year if he can afford to. Not saying that he have to, but you got to think about yourself, Carter, and to be healthy and not try to rush things back. I think Nebraska is pretty set right now at the tight end position. And then we have another kid coming in next year that you can groom. But if I was him, I'll just take a break this year and not try to rush things.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, you do have he did not redshirt last year, so you have the redshirt to work with. Still could play up to 4 games if you want to use more of that time to get toward the end of the season. We've seen reports of folks not expecting him to play at all. We've seen reports of him, hopefully being ready to go at fall camp. And so it's one of those deals of, with his own comfort zone. You have to ask him, are you 100%? Are you 80%? Is 80% Carter Nelson better than the next guy? And so you gotta have to go through all of that. I would say, and I could be wrong. Obviously, a special talent. Nick Saban came out to even look at him at 8-man football, or Alabama did anyway. And so I don't think I would put him at the top of my list of expectations this year because of the surgery. So I would really kind of circle next year as kind of as being his big breakout performance or opportunity there, as you got a couple upperclassmen in front of him at tight end as well. So could be a pleasant surprise this year, but I guess I wouldn't expect the world from him.
All right, Bock, let's hop back into our freshman mode and see who we have next. Pierce Mooberry. He's a kid from Millard North, 6'4", 200-pound linebacker. Hey, my buddy, it's nothing better than redshirting and gaining weight and trying to do an impact the next year.
Yeah, we'll see. Pierce Mooberry. I don't know. I think I would kind of put him into your 4 games type of discussion. I don't know. We'll see. It's tough to tell. I don't have a very good read on that one.
Yeah, Bryson Weber. This kid right here is 6'2", 180, cornerback from Ridgeport, Missouri City, Texas. Man, 6'2", great size, 69 in state, 52 a position. Cornerback is, I don't know if we're thin there. I don't know about the corner position. I have to do my homework on that. I would say give him a try.
Yeah,
just because of his size.
I think as we're getting close, further down the line, like you said, there's going to be a few guys with the size that's ready in college right away. But after we get past the first couple of names where you could see them, they're highly rated coming in. You expect them to be able to at some point turn into very high impact players at Nebraska, and so you want to see them get a shot. A lot of these other guys, it's really going to depend on how the position kind of breaks down in front of them. And I think you're kind of in the same boat here, where expect a red shirt, but maybe you can break through. There's always one or two. We kind of talk about the 4 stars. That's what I was getting at. That maybe they can immediately come in and impact the team. There's always 2, 3, 4, 3 stars that do that. That surprise you. And again, it's just how is their body ready for that adjustment at the college level?
All right, next one. Houston Torres, St. Louis, Honolulu, Hawaii. Interior offensive lineman, 6'3", 265. I'm going to put him on that list, Bock. He needs to get some weight, probably another 30 pounds to 20 to 30 pounds. Sounds like a good kid, but I'm going to have to redshirt you.
Yeah, there's a lot of good young, sophomores, redshirt freshmen on that offensive line that have already been through this process of adding weight, getting the body ready. Offensive line especially, you're rarely going to see a true freshman come in and play too much.
All right, Jackson Carpenter, Tim Carpenter's son, legendary Nebraska player. Tim played with me. Great kid. Tim is a photo bomber. He likes to hop in pictures and photo bomb you. But Jackson Carpenter, 6'2", 185 pounds, wide out from Lincoln Southwest. Red shirt.
Yeah. Again, unless he
can surprise a lot of people.
Or again, with any of these guys, special teams could be an opportunity.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste them. I think I'm with the 105 roster. It's a lot of guys I can put on that. All right, this guy right here, Jamarion Parker, running back, 6 foot, 185 pounds, from St. Louis, Missouri. He's in the same boat as Isaiah Mose. Good freshman, good size. Probably it's a young group of running backs, especially I think Emmett's a junior this year, ain't he?
Emmett's a senior.
He's a senior? Yeah. Oh my God. I thought
Emmett is a junior. You're right.
Yeah, Emmett's a junior. So, hey, just keep practicing, keep trying to get better. Maybe he can crack the rotation. But, some freshmen gotta take the red shirt route, and I think he's one of them.
The opportunity's certainly there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there. I'm not saying it's not there. The door's not all the way closed.
Between him and Connor Booth, maybe Mose, if he's moving out there, somebody's probably going to have to play. And we've done kind of go back to something that we've seen over the years is that generally, if you redshirt as a running back at the college level or at Nebraska, you just kind of have a less of an impact down the line. It's a position that if there is an opening, you should be able to translate to pretty quickly as far as toting the rock. So I expect him to play, and I expect him to get some carries. So I would say no red shirt here.
Yeah. Who we got? Oh, Camden Vermont. Millard North, safety, 6 foot, 190. DBs are kind of set right now. Got the transfers from Georgia. We still have Deshaun Singleton back. Malcolm Harzog back there. I don't know who's the other safeties of back there, but hey, if he can crack the lineup then or get some playing time, great for him.
Well, even the young cornerbacks, right? There's definitely the veteran group of quarterbacks that's out there, but even the Donovan Jones of the world, the Caleb Benning, there's a few younger guys that are starting to get in the rotation as well. So that'd be tough to crack the lineup. So I think Caden Vermont is headed for a red shirt.
All right, Connor Booth. We all know about him out there in Bishop Newman out there in Wahoo, Nebraska. Great kid who broke all the records in the state of Nebraska, 6 foot, 212. If he can crack that rotation, it'll be good for him and us.
Yeah, similar type of thing with Jamarion Parker. I think a lot of people probably put Booth a notch below Parker. That could be the rankings coming out of high school, 4-star versus 3-star type of thing. Or it could just be the naturally. I mean, Booth is not coming from Class A state football in Nebraska, right? Coming from Class C. So we'll see that seems to be a big jump. But it still applies to what I kind of said earlier, is usually if these guys are going to be impact players in the long run, they can crack the field as freshmen, especially with the opportunities that's there. So he's going to get his opportunity. Would probably bet a red shirt, but you never know.
All right. We got some other guys right here. Malcolm Simpson, D lineman, 6'3", 255, Hitchcock, Texas. Bock, you go ahead and talk about that one. I'll let you see what you have to say.
Well, again, 6'3", 265, that's a pretty good body size already for him. I have heard, it kind of talks about him might be a guy that's got the body to play right away on the defensive line, but that's that's the question, right? The same thing as offensive line we talked about earlier. That's a position that generally is tough to play as a true freshman. We saw Cam Linhart when we see guys do it over the years. So keep an eye on this one. He could be one of the rare guys to break through and play as a true freshman. But I think you're probably flirting with, again, those 4 games and ultimately a redshirt.
All right, Sean Hammerbeck, old tackle, 6'6", 260.
Offensive line thing. Yeah. I mean, I think you're probably headed for a red shirt. A lot of young offensive linemen as backups right now still, unless you're just that special of a talent. He was one of the top recruited kids at Nebraska, but, especially at tackle to play 260, you might have to move into guard there.
All right, Jeremiah Jones. This guy's a 6'4", 200-pound safety from Murray, Kentucky. 4-star. Shoot, if he can crack the lineup, 6'4" is pretty good. Probably got some good range. Probably an excellent tackle. We'll have to see how he do in fall camp.
Yeah, I think he's listed as a wide receiver.
Okay, no, this is the one.
But he was an athlete coming in. So if they
this
start
is
him at
the
wide
kid
receiver,
that they talking about right here.
Yeah.
This kid right here, I heard a lot about. I forgot about him because they don't have him up at the top. The regular kids, they have him at the bottom with signed a letter of intent. But this kid right here, yeah, I seen him. He's 6'4". That's the kid you say that can go get them money balls up in the air.
Yeah.
Juju Marks, Othea South, Othea, Kansas. Olathe, Kansas. I've been there before. Why would I say that? Offensive tackle, 6'6", 290. Kid has the size and the weight right away, Bock. But like I said, this is a stacked group right here, especially with Rocco and Pritchett and the other guys who's been doing good. We'd like to see how Sam Sledge is doing and some other guys that's been here for a couple of years that see if they can crack the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. The Grant Bricks of the world, those type of guys. Again, unless you're a special talent, probably not going to play at offensive line as a freshman.
All right. How you say this kid last name? Cade Pletrax from West Fargo, North Dakota. Defensive lineman, 6'4", 250. He can use a red shirt unless he can crack the lineup. Like I say, this D line is young. It's going to be a lot of guys in that rotation or in that room, especially when fall camp starts with the transfer guys also.
Yeah, just echo same thoughts there.
Tyson Terry, great kid out of Omaha right here, 4th in his class. Great wrestler, 6'2", 279. Could help this team out, but I think he tore something in his knee, Bock.
Yeah, I think he's going to sit out this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have again heard with him, he could be one of those exceptional guys that would be able to play right away, but the injuries are going to hold him back here. I mean, that was all part of his decision making as he went after the wrestling state title.
All right, Brian Tapu, West Salt Lake City, Utah, offensive tackle, 6'7", 295. I would let him red shirt, bulk up. Some of these guys have a chance to just come in and probably take it their red shirt freshman year, especially with his size.
Yeah, that's definitely some good size for some long-term potential at offensive line.
All right, so we got the transfers. I don't know, Rocco Spindler, we know him probably is going to be a starter. Elijah Pidgeot, starter. Jameer Kuhn, he's a he's a cornerback. He came from, where's that? Southern Illinois. Heard a lot about this kid. 6 foot 180. Marquise Watson Trent, 5'11", 225 linebacker from Georgia Southern. He has a good chance to start. Hartley Gilmore went back to Kentucky. Andrew Marshall, I forgot where he's from. Idaho. Yeah, he's the kicker.
He
corner.
Could be a kick returner, but he's a corner. But he could be definitely. He did well for the Vandals there.
All right, Dane Key, 6'3", 210 starter. Deshaun McCullum might be a starter. Justin Rhett, 6'1", 200. Oh, that's the guy from University of Georgia. I met him.
Corn dog, yeah.
Yeah, he's a corn dog. Marcos Davila.
Yep.
He's the quarterback from Purdue. He has a long way to go, but hey, nice to have him here. Nazir Hunter, 6'2", 210 from Cal, receiver. Gabe Moore, 6'4", 290. Defensive lineman from, where is that?
Mississippi State.
Jaden George. Defensive lineman. He's from East Tennessee State. Kevin Gollick, long snapper. We need one of those. Jake McAllister, he's a punter.
He transferred out, remember?
He went back because of the Army style. I mean, the
rugby style.
Yeah, the rugby style kick. And William Noeli, who we're still trying to get him developed and get him on the field, 6'7", 255.
He's definitely a big guy. That's what stood out for a lot of people when he was lining up to Keona Davis. They look the part. Now, can they turn the corner and be that for Nebraska? Will be a big question for that defensive line. But as you kind of read off all those names, obviously transfer portal, there is room to take some long-term projects, maybe get a redshirt freshman out of the transfer portal and try to develop him. And maybe Williams Nwaneri would be an example of that, but I think there's too much of an expectation for him to play right away. And that to my overall point, everybody out of the transfer portal, they didn't really have any long-term projects that they have taken before in this transfer portal class. Everybody's expected to play and compete. Some of them expected to start.
Yeah. In Texas, he says, do you think some of the foreign O-line freshmen be moved to D-line, as D-line can learn more quicker than O-line? Am I wrong?
I think you generally see a little bit, maybe some younger defensive line men than offensive linemen. So maybe that transition's a little bit easier, but it's not by much. And you're usually still seeing veteran-led defensive linemen up there. So I wouldn't expect to see too much of that. It's also a lot of different skill sets that go evolved in there, even though you kind of have sometimes similar body types, sometimes not. So I don't see a whole lot of guys that I would say, okay, here you can make a move. There are examples of guys that have done that in the past, but I don't necessarily see anything position changes that I would expect from that group to the defensive line.
Yeah. All right, Johnny Corley said you guys are smooth. Mr. Force of Nature, a.k.a. Rashawn. Get well, young man. Oh, yeah. Me and Bock is smoother than a baby butt.
That's right.
All right, Bock, let's take it to break. And when we come back, we'll hit some more football talk with Bock 101. When Bock and the Blackshirt returns on 93.7 The Ticket.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers and storms this morning. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high near 87. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high near 91. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeroll-offs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock and the Blackshirt here at the 1 o'clock hour, and now it is time for Bock 101.
That's right. As we are counting down to Big Ten Media Days around the corner, we're going to take a look at a couple of teams every day until we get there. Of course, Nebraska's Big Ten Media Day is July 22nd. The other media days, the 23rd and 24th. So we got some time to get there. And I figured we'd start today with a few teams that are on Nebraska's schedule. They might not be the greatest teams. These are maybe wins that Nebraska is expecting, but we want to know what to expect once we get to Big Ten Media Day, and certainly once we get to their schedule. And also, we're going to play their fight songs every day. So you're going to also grade their fight songs. What do you think about these fight songs, Terrell? We'll start with our friends. Why don't we start with our friends from Northwestern and see how their fight song sounds as we prepare to break down the Wildcats. Yeah, that's a familiar one.
Yeah,
That's a pretty
they're
good one for
biters.
Northwestern. Yeah.
They're biters. It sounds like a remix of the 90s Nebraska fight song right there.
Now, there's some different words that go to it about go Northwestern and beat them. And
I
that,
don't
but
care
have those
about
there,
that.
yeah.
I'm just saying the beat wise. Bock can say all bands sound alike.
Yeah, a lot of them do sound pretty similar. So we will go with that. Northwestern comes into the year with 40-year-old head coach David Braun. We'll take him to Big Ten Media Days. Joining him will be quarterback Preston Stone, the big transfer from SMU. A lot is dependent on him. We'll get to him here in a second. Running back in dynamic kick returner Joseph Hyman II will be there, as well as defensive lineman Anto Saka. David Braun is 12-13 now, entering his third season at Northwestern. They fell to 4-8 last season after an 8-5 season in Braun's debut. Their two Big Ten wins last year, by the way, came against Purdue and Maryland, who went a combined 1-17 in league play last season. So near the bottom, Northwestern is fighting for, but they're looking to get better. If they need to get better this year, or their hopes to get better this year, a lot of it is on offense. I can go through their offensive numbers last year, and it'll make you worry quite a bit for Wildcats fans. So their offense averaged 17.8 points per game last year. That's good for 128th in the nation. 98.5 yards rushing per game last year. That was 122nd in the nation. 111th passing in the nation with 185.9 yards per game for a total of 285 yards per game. That's 130th in the nation. Like I said, their offense needs to improve quite a bit. A lot of that is going to rely on a tandem of quarterback Preston Stone and wide receiver transfer Griffin Wild, who comes from South Dakota State. Preston Stone transfers in from SMU, where he threw for 35 touchdowns compared to 8 picks. But then he lost his starting job at SMU last year after battling early in the season for it. Their incumbent starter obviously led in SMU to the playoffs, so Preston Stone was looking for a new home. It's interesting, Northwestern is a place that often brings in transfer quarterbacks.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Bock. This is one of the games that where it's kind of, I'll probably say 60-40 Nebraska, but if you let a team like Northwestern hang in it, they probably can upset you. But, you know, right now, we probably, like I said, that 60-40 rule right now. We have to see how they play the rest of the season, play the season out, and see how they do against some other teams.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Again, Northwestern's always tried to, it's tough to tell between a 4-8 team and an 8-4 team. There might not be too much of a difference, but that offense definitely needs to get going. Like I said, Griffin Wild's going to be a big part of that. 70 catches for 1,147 yards and 12 touchdowns last year at South Dakota State, obviously moving up a level. The rest of the wide receiver unit doesn't have a whole lot to prove. They do have, or to show for, I should say. Running back Cam Parker returns 501 yards and 6 touchdowns last season. They've got a few guys. Aiden Hubbard, defensive lineman, led the team with 6 sacks last year. They also returned their leading tackler as 4 of their front 7 return on that defense. And the defense is one that it was pretty good last year. You have to give them credit for that, particularly against the run. 129 yards per game against them. That was good for 37th in the nation. Their defense averaged 26.3 points per game given up. That was 81st in the nation. Total defense of 56. So not the best team, like I said, but it's always kind of tough to tell. As far as the recruiting goes, if you're keeping an eye on that, number 70 in the nation as far as recruiting. So not what they would like to see at Northwestern there, but defensive line signing Mason Maine is the top sleeper of the Big Ten recruiting by Lindy. So maybe could have something break out there for Northwestern. You kind of give us our thoughts already there about that game. It's a game that in years past, it's almost like, I know I'm reading all these stats and people are going, yeah, we've heard this all before, but Northwestern always gives Nebraska a heck of a game. But if you look at it last year, like I said, they only beat Purdue. It took overtime to beat Purdue 26-20, and they had their way with Maryland 37-10. Their other games were none of them at the Big Ten level were within a touchdown. So they lost every game by double digits outside of that. Did lose to Duke in double overtime, was a pretty good team early in the season last year. We'll see. David Braun obviously inherited what he did from Pat Fitzgerald, made the most of it, and now it's more on his team. And it's a big pressure year for Zach Lujan, their offensive coordinator, in year 2 after a disastrous year 1. We'll see what they're able to do. As far as the matchup, though, you probably feel pretty good about Nebraska's defense being able to hold them down, and then particularly, on the other side of the ball, you flip it over for Nebraska's or Northwestern's defense. Hopefully, Nebraska's able to move the ball a little bit on them as far as Nebraska's passing goes. Northwestern's passing defense, I should say, struggled a little bit, close to 89th in the nation with 231 yards per game given up.
Well, and you got to understand, Bock, every team's going to get better, especially with the transfer portal and the money that's going out. So, really, they could have upgraded a team to the fullest. So, I have to wait and see how this season plays out.
Bill and Bennett gives that song, the fight song, a 6. Let's see what he gives for Maryland. Maryland, the next team that we will preview here, and as we count down to Big Ten Media Days, here's Maryland's fight song, including, this one does include some words here after the first verse, so we'll get through this. This is Maryland's fight song. These fight songs get you ready for football in general. They kind of get you in the mood a little. Go Terps, they say.
Okay. No, I don't like that part. Cut that. I don't want to hear that.
Fight, Maryland. Yeah, I don't know what they're saying. Go Terps.
You should have lived the short version.
Bill and Ben had already given it a 4.5. So you liked it before they talked to us, so great.
It was going towards a 6 or 7, but then with the chant at the end, nah, it's too much.
No, bringing it back a little bit. Maryland Terrapins are going to look for a bounce back year here in head coach Mike Lockley's 8th season at Maryland, 33-41 overall. They fell to 4-8 last season after 3 straight winning seasons. They're going to be bringing in new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator is one-time Houston Texans offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton. So that should be interesting. They got co-DCs trying to fix things there in Maryland. 5 returning starters, 3 on offense, 1 on defense, and a punter. So not a whole lot coming back. No one in the front 7, in fact, has started more than a game a year ago. And they lost a lot, not just to, this was a team that lost a lot to the NFL draft. They lost 6 players that were drafted in the NFL, most for Maryland since 1986, coming off that 4-8 season. And then they lost a lot in the portal as well. They lost one of their leading linebackers, and Caleb Wheatland went to Auburn. The running back Roman Hemby, who ran for 607 yards, leading rusher, went to Indiana. Their quarterback Billy Edwards transferred to Wisconsin, expected to start there. Even their backup quarterback MJ Morris, who was once linked to Nebraska, transferred to Coastal Carolina. If that's not enough, their kicker decided he was out of there. So a lot of people leaving, including, like I said, Ty Felton graduating, going on to the NFL along with Caden Prather. So even from a 4-8 team, they lost a lot. What they do have coming back, their best player potentially, Bryce McPherson, their punter, 45.1 yards per punt last season. And what mostly the hope for this team is Elite 11 quarterback Malik Washington coming in as a freshman. Now, I don't know if he's going to start right away or if he's got a couple people to battle there, but he was part of this class that for Maryland coming off a 4-8 season had a top 25 class in recruiting. So you got to give him credit for that. However, on the field last season, again, not so good. 4-8, 7 of those losses by double digits, 1-7 in their final 8 games. And again, that was with all that talent that was there that no longer is. They'll be bringing defensive back Jalen Husky, linebacker Daniel Wingate, and offensive lineman Isaiah Wright to Vegas for media days. Going over the numbers real quick. Again, some of this might not translate, but it's a tough place to start for Maryland last year on offense. Kind of similar to Northwestern, very much struggled. 23.7 points per game only on offense. That was 100th in the nation. Only 110 yards rushing per game. That was 115th. 275 yards passing per game. That's where they were able to attack you a little bit with some of those guys that are now gone. That was 17th in the nation. Good for a total offense of 386 yards per game, 67th in the nation. Their defense, not much better. 30.4 points per game given up. That was 105th last year. Rushing, 136.8 yards per game given up. That was 46th. Passing, 241 yards per game. They're going to have to fix that pass defense, especially against Nebraska. Dylan Raiola might have a heyday there, hopefully. They gave 241 yards per game. That's 105th in the nation for a total defense of 80th at 378. I got to tell you, Maryland, I kind of looked at that game with Nebraska. Obviously, for Nebraska, I think it's their away game, first away game, October 11th, or second one, excuse me, with Michigan State involved there. Before I did this breakdown, I kind of thought, yeah, Maryland could be, you never want to overlook them. Last time they came into Nebraska and won that game, of course, with Tala Tagovailoa, Tua's brother. But after kind of breaking down what they did last year, combined with everybody that left, I feel like that would be pretty embarrassing if they lose to the Terrapins this year.
Well, they do have an excellent quarterback, like you said, in Malik Washington, who has to go through fall practice and battle a couple of guys. But I think with a kid like that, you have to play him. You have to split time because you're not settled at that position. Yeah, they lost a lot of guys, but you also, like I say, Bob, transfer portal and money will put together your team, probably like the TCU back when we seen them when they made it to the playoff game. But at the same time, it's going to be a struggle to get these guys right back on track, especially with 4 starters or 3 starters coming back, and one of them's your kicker.
And I did misspeak too. Michigan State is at home, so that Maryland game will be your first game on the road for Nebraska, October 11th. And again, I mean, that's a pretty soft landing for Nebraska, if you will, as far as your first road test with Maryland there. They did bring in 13 transfers to kind of try to counteract all those guys that were leaving out. So like you said, maybe some of those guys can surprise, but good recruiting class. Maybe there's still some hope there for Mike Locksley, but I feel like he's always hanging on to that job, by a thread. And I expect more of the same after this season.
All right. What else you got, Bock? We're going to take a break, or how we're going to do it?
Yeah, we'll preview 2 more teams for Big Ten Media Days every day leading up to it, but that'll wrap it up for this session.
Good job, Bock, especially with the fight songs on there. Man, you showed out right there.
Thank you. Yeah, fight song, again, gets you in a football mood, so I love it.
All right, let's get ready to go to break, and when we come back, it's the last segment right here on Bock and the Blackshirt.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers and storms this morning. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high near 87. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high near 91. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service. But it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free. So visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G1877747, and G1965599.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All righty, last segment here. Bill in Bennett says, rating the fight song was a hell of an idea, Bock. Better than some of the crap Jake plays on early break. The BG song this morning was horrible. John in Cortland says, nice job, young sirs. Jake, you always solid. Blackshirt, you're really getting good at this talk radio thing. I got a couple of guys on YouTube who says, Scott says 9 and then their bowl game. This is looking at the schedule and the fact that they need to beat good teams. Lane 177 says if they start 7-1 and then go 1-3 in November, is it a successful season? 8-4 is a successful season to me. I mean, especially what we have to work with and trying to build a Matt Rule like a team. And I say he's getting better every year. And some teams can turn it around in a year, but I think when you're at a school like the University of Nebraska, you got to get kids to come here, and then you have to rebuild this team how you want it. So, I mean, yeah, we still have a lot of leftovers from not other rosters, but, you know, some kids work and some kids don't.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Any way you can kind of get to 8 wins, I think would be a successful season. Obviously, you don't want to lose 3 out of 4, but even in that scenario, you know, you're beating somebody there between USC, UCLA, Penn State, and Iowa, so you'd get a solid victory out of it. You and presumably if you beat UCLA, you wouldn't, beat USC, Penn State, Iowa. Part of it's how it looks, right? I mean, part of it is you could be 8-4 and feel like you're pretty close. You can be 8-4 and feel like you're far away. If you're giving up 70 points, in your losses, then you don't feel like you're all that close. So there's a bit of context that needs to go to it, but I think just about any way they can get to 8 regular season wins should be celebrated.
Yeah. All right, Bock, what you got for us?
Well, we just got our kind of countdown to Big 10 media days, Big 12 media days kicking off today. And there's been a few different notable situations coming out of it. One involving our old buddy, Scott Frost. So we'll get to a couple of the other ones, but I'm sure the Scott Frost deal will be a talking point for a couple of shows here in the next couple of hours here on 93.7 The Ticket. USCF coach Scott Frost on what he learned from Nebraska. He said, don't take the wrong job. He said, I wouldn't leave UCF unless it was someplace you could win a national championship. I got tugged in a direction to try to help my alma mater and didn't really want to do it. It wasn't a good move. I'm lucky to get back to a place where I was a lot happier. A lot of hindsight 2020 there. Maybe he didn't want to necessarily leave that job. It would be hard to kind of leave those kids. But, man, I mean, he just keeps talking about it whenever asked. He'll let you know that he felt like he didn't want to go to Nebraska and was forced to go there, and that'll be the an excuse for why it didn't work there. I would like him to at some point just say, learn some on the field stuff and some stuff as far as being a CEO of your football team and all that sort of stuff. But it's always back to, hey, it wasn't the right time, it was a bad move, and that sort of stuff, blaming it on the job rather than taking the responsibility of his failures here with Nebraska.
I got one word for Scott. Shut up and coach your own school. All right. We gave you a chance. You took the job. You was happy to be back here. You was happy to be back close to your family. You dropped the ball. You wasn't ready. You wasn't focused. You wasn't a head coach. You thought you was a college kid with a college job that didn't live up to your expectations. Now you take that how you want to take it, but you got to blame failure on your own self. You brought your own buddies in here, and you messed up this university. We gave you $18 million to get out of here. Now shut your mouth and go worry about USC.
Well said. I don't need to add any more to that. Some other stuff coming out of Big 12 media days. They, of course, scrapped the media poll, and they said today that was partially because they thought it hurt Arizona State in perception last year. Remember, Arizona State was picked last in the conference, went around and turned around and won the whole thing. But that's partially why they scrapped the media poll. They're also very much in favor of the 5-11 model for the college football playoff, which would be the 5 conference champions, top-rated conference champions, and 11 at-large bids. That compared to what the SEC and the Big Ten want, which is 4 guaranteed spots for each of their conferences. So that's kind of the big national takeaway here. But I also wanted to bring this up. The WWE and Big 12 have a deal. The WWE, yes, wrestling, will host SmackDown in many Big 12 markets on the Friday prior to game day, including week 0 in Ireland for Kansas State and Iowa State. Yes, Farmageddon in Ireland. And also they will host it the Friday night before UCF takes on North Carolina in Orlando. So, I know a lot of us are looking forward to that Scott Frost game against Bill Belichick.
Hope he loses every game.
Well,
just for that.
There could be a Scott Frost
Take that,
Bill
Scott
Belichick
Frost.
on SmackDown before that. So
Take that, Scott Frost. Lose every game.
You turned against him here.
Yeah, I just turned against him. He turned against us.
Yeah, I mean, he won't stop talking.
Woo! 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 All right. Thank you for listening to Bock and Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll see you tomorrow right after Adam Carricker and his camp tomorrow at the youth football fields out there off South Street. Man, have a good day, Bock, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers and storms this morning. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high near 87. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high near 91. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466